This is a structure block. What is it? What's it do? And is it useful? We'll get onto that and more in this video. Okay then, so you often see the structure block in those secret blocks in Minecraft videos, mainly because you can't get this in the creative inventory. The only way to obtain this is just like command block, go in /give, whoever you want to give it to, and then structure block, so you can see. Yeah. So this is much more useful than it seems. And especially if you don't like typing out long commands, this is very useful. When you first place it down, it looks a bit like this. And this is very unique in that it's one of the only blocks that has something like this around it. So this is like, it almost looks like a gazebo, if you like. So essentially, what the structure block does is if we build something in this area, a random grass structure, and then we do this, you can see it appears in our structure block. We can have a look at it in this 3D thing. And then we can go on to the save mode and give this a name. So we're just going to call this grass test. It can be whatever you want, and the best thing to do is actually describe what it is. And then there's a couple settings you can change. Include entities, whether you want to include the entities in this or not. And then make sure that's on redstone save in memory. And then if we just do save, that our structure's saved. Now what does that mean? If we place another structure block down, and we go in here, but instead of doing save mode, we do load mode, and type in that same name, grass test. Look what happens when I click load. It loads in the structure that's called grass test, and that's not any sort of editing wizardry. That's what it does. And you can see that is exactly the same structure. Cool. So what we can also do is, most things that you would want to structure block aren't this small. So what we can do is we can get a structure block. We can change the size of it with this. So by going around it, we can see which axes are the red X, the green Y, and the blue Z. So if we said, okay, well, my structure goes further in the red direction, then we could change the red size to be, instead of it starts 5, so maybe we want it to be 10. So if we do that, now we can see that our indicator to see where's getting selected is much bigger, and it's now in this direction. So if we built blocks in here, then we can see that does it in here as big as it is. And if we save that and we load it, it will load it at that size. Pretty cool, right? So you could make that whatever size you wanted. Now the offset gets a little bit more complicated. Now the best way to describe it would be to use this 3D model. So as you can see here, we can see that there's our structure block, but the box starts one below it. And you can see that the up and down axes is the y-axis. And that makes sense, because in our offset it says that the y offset is -1. So that makes sense. So it goes down -1 before it starts our box. Now say, for example, we wanted to clone a big thing, but we didn't necessarily want our structure block to be in it, then we could offset it on the x-axis and did do -1. -1 took it that way. So instead of doing that, we did 1. Then you can see that the structure block, it doesn't appear in there because actually the structure block is just outside of it. Pretty cool. So now we could do in that all the same. So say, for example, we built some polished black stone walls. Built that. Save it as wall. Then if we went over here, you can see that the box goes back to normal. But if we go to load it, our presets on this will change to what the ones on when we saved it were. So if we do this, you can see that it's realised that those are the presets that it looks like, and we need to manually add the offset. So if we did the offset as that, then load it, would you look at that, it worked. So you can change the size and you can change the offset. So you can see that it loaded it, but this isn't inside of it. Perfect. Now, when you're loading it, there are some different things that you can do. You can include the entities if you wanted to. You can remove the blocks. I don't know why you would do that, but you can. In case you just wanted to clone entities, then you could do that. Integrity is more complicated, considering this is a beginner's tutorial, so we're going to leave that. The seed is, again, too complicated. The rotation, though, this is quite interesting, because many times I've wanted to rotate a build while doing /clone. Now, if we go back to our grass test, okay, then, we can tell that it does that preset. But what we can do is, if we can rotate it 180 degrees, and if we then, hang on, capitals do matter, guys. Okay, and if we rotate it by 180 degrees, you can see that these have been rotated. So it was like this, and now it's turned like this. So that's pretty cool if you want to rotate a build or you want to mirror something. You can also do that. That's another setting in it. If you can mirror it on the X and the Y. And then there's also animation mode, but I don't really see why you would use this really. But what essentially that would do, say if we did place by layer and had it go on for 20 seconds, and then we loaded it. Oh wait, hang on, let me do it on another one because that one's done it. So if we were to load up our grass test. So capitals do matter is something you might want to do. And then if we did animations place by layer and we made it go on for 40 seconds, and if we loaded it, you can see that after a while, it loads it up layer by layer. So I don't know why you would want this. I guess it would be good for stopping lag if you were doing really big things, and also if you want to create an animation like that for maps or whatever, you can do that. But I personally don't see that would be as useful. Another thing you can do is you can turn off show bounding box. So that means that that structure block is still detecting all of these blocks. It's just not showing you the bounding box. But it is still doing everything. Okay, guys, I think that covers everything for the basics. I will do a more advanced tutorial when it goes into more advanced things that you can do structure blocks. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And to make sure you don't miss it, make sure to subscribe and slap the notification bell so you don't miss it when that does come out. But for now, I'll see you guys later. Bye!